when we played Finza and the Steed, I feel like that was the strongest point. But that's
well, he had the perfect answer, right? He had the silence. That's just crazy.
Because he stripped down the Finza and he stripped down the Steed. Oh man.
Oh, another priest. Let's see if it's the same deck.
Oh wow, this is magic.
Nice. Ooh,
Oh.
this is looking to be fun.
Well, most likely Inquisitor.
Yep, let's start with the Inquisitor. I found the deck list now that he was playing. Or most likely the deck list. I'm going to send it to you so that you can also see it. He was probably playing this one.
Subtle Vision right now, do you know? Like anti-aggro or something.
Well, we don't really have that much information what he would go for Shadow Vision with, right? But
okay.
So
I would buff.
Probably AoE. Yep, I agree. Let's buff. Usually the player looks for AoE.
Okay.
It can be Shadow Word Pain or it can be Potion of Madness, right? With this deck, it can also be obviously the cards to silence or to buff, right? So.
I would go coin out.
Yep, let's coin the Gentle Megasaur, definitely.
Yeah.
We can get Poisonous here, right? That's huge.
I would do Stealth, honestly, and then do another Megasaur.
No, I don't like that. I think it's either health. Like with health, we can almost always also do another Megasaur, right? Or with Windfury, you really pressure him. But I think it's not enough pressure. It's like +2 attack. I like the health much more. Hit face. Because with that one, you can almost always get another Gentle Megasaur done.
Yes, and even if he has silence against these guys, it's okay. He would probably.
Oh, I'm not scared of him silencing our guy. I'm scared of him buffing his guy and then playing a big taunt or something like that. This is not too crazy.
Did he do good? Like I don't know what would be. Oh, actually, he could not kill he could not have killed the Murloc, so I guess that's okay. Gentle Megasaur next turn, most likely.
Yeah, most likely. But let's see what he does. There's an option to go for the smaller Murlocs. But since 3 attack looks really good here, I would go for the Gentle Megasaur. Because if we can get 3 attack, we can kill his guy.
Oh man.
Another 3 health.
I could go +1/1 and kill him off and take some damage.
Yeah, since he usually doesn't have AoE, that's probably the way to go for kill his minion, yeah.
And he's played one silent, I think he has at least 3 to 4 more.
It is very likely that from Shadow Visions he got a Divine Spirit, or if he had 2 Divine Spirits already, he did get a copy of Inner Fire, right? That's what the deck is aiming for. So that's usually what the card is. Ancient Watcher. Sure. Oh, nice.
Take him out. Use the Blessing of the King.
Yep.
Go to the right minion, the right the Rockpool Hunter.
Why? I think I buff the other one because it has just more health. Then he needs 4 damage. Well, okay, against Priest it doesn't really matter that much. Yeah, maybe you can also find the argument here to buffing the 3/3.
The only reason I buff the guy on the right is because he's a little bit weaker. And if he is to silence him, the guy on the left...
but the silence is not really an argument here in my opinion, because if he's silencing our minion right now, then we have all the opportunity to play Spike Seed, right? So.
Oh yeah, that's good too. Actually, we might even have to play the Steed.
And if he is using silence for our minions, he cannot silence his minions anymore. So
yes, that's bad for him.
The Silence Priest or the Divine Spirit Inner Fire combo Priest doesn't really have a way or a consistent way to use silence for our minions. It's just not what the deck is for. Oh, another Shadow Word Death. That's quite interesting.
Okay, so yeah, the one was okay actually. Because I'm tracking his moves, the first one he played was the copy he took. And then the second one he actually drew.
Yep. So there's one more in his deck, right? There's one more Shadow Word Death in his deck.
So do we want to like build a board or do we want to do Steed?
Yeah, how do you decide this?
I can decide?
How do you decide this?
Oh. Maybe Steed would cause lots of pressure. But it's
okay, I'm going to explain it to you because we are going to run out of time. I want to go white here because the opponent's deck usually doesn't have AoE.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
Oh, I would have gotten Repentance actually. But you got the Getaway Kodo. Let's get... No, now we take the Getaway Kodo again. I would have opted for Repentance, I think. It's just better against Priest with the big health minions. But let's play one Getaway Kodo now. Yeah, that's fine, I think. It's not great, but...
Yes, you are correct, and you're correct. I can see why you're saying that because that's his only play to throw down a strong minion.
Yeah, he will play big minions, right? He will always play big minions. He plays maybe another humongous Razor Leaf. He plays maybe a Priest of the Feast if his deck is a little bit alternative. In best case, he plays. Okay, that's fine with us, right? In the best case, he plays something like the Radiant Elemental, right? So, and then it's still good for us when... Oh, wow.
Huh. It's quite interesting.
When the Radiant Elemental gets the health reduced. And the Spike Steed was not that good because it might still be the case that he holds a silence, right? That's why the Spike Steed is not that amazing.
I would go Hero Power, the Inquisitor, Hero Power, something like that. So I can set up for the World Leader next turn. But tell me though.
Yeah, he doesn't have AoE, that's a fine option. Yeah, let's do that. And it's a little bit too early to fully pressure with Bluegill Warrior and War Leader. I would probably not play the Getaway Kodo. I don't see that he has a way to kill our guys, but I think next turn it's just stronger. Same goes for the Bluegill Warrior, just save a little bit of value here.
Okay.
Oh.
Yes, Tyrion?
Yes, Tyrion. Simple answer here. Against Priest it might actually matter where you position Tyrion, but on the far sides it's alright, because Priest sometimes has weird ways to generate cards, like he can Mind Vision into... Actually, I don't really know. What can he get? No, I think there's actually not that much stuff he can do in this matchup. But usually you want to put the strongest minions to the sides. That's the basic rule. Some restrictions apply. I think I have a guide actually about minion positioning. If you want to watch it, you can you can watch out for it on YouTube.
So he has 3 cards. The one card he has kept from turn 1. The second card, he pulled from turn 2. Okay, he's playing it right now actually.
Yeah, he's probably doubling the life of the Nostril Cleric here.
Yeah, so his first.
Yeah, I think we can have to read that this is either Inner Fire or Divine Spirit.
I would think Inner Fire.
Oh no, it's an extra. It's an extra powered shield. Okay, all right. How much damage do we have next turn? You should always have an eye on that if we find lethal or not.
We have 15 plus 5. Oh, we have lethal.
Do we? We have 15 plus 5. We have 20, don't we? Oh no,
6,
wait.
7, 8, 9.
I think we have 20. I think we have 9 plus 6, that's 15. And then the Bluegill Warrior, and that's another 5. I think we have 20, no?
6, 7, 8, 9.
Isn't it 20?
18, 19, 20, 21.
Counting in the original language.
Oh yeah.
Okay, if you are sure that it's lethal, I think it's 20. What did I miss?
Oh.
Yeah, right. It's 1 point off. But it doesn't really matter. I wouldn't trade here anymore. He's just dying.
I don't know, he could have a big surprise. Actually,
he might kill us right now, right? If he has Divine Spirit.
Yes.
Inner Fire, he's just killing us. So.
But he doesn't know if what they play though. The secret might confuse him.
Yeah, that is true.
But it's a risk that he has to take nonetheless, though.
Yeah, that is true. So I think it was just better to play Stampeding Kodo.
Yes. Oh yeah. But there we go. He's not taking the risk.
And be right back. Sorry, I'm back again. Oh wow, he plays Dragonfire Potion. That is really weird for that deck to run Dragonfire Potion. He's running a strange version of that deck.
I was kind of surprised as well. So yeah, I guess that's what happens when you go for the greedy play. Hero Power, Steed.
I don't like the Steed that much here. It's hard to remove, but he can still just have a silence, right? And if he's silencing the Steed, well, I mean, then at least he's not silencing that 4-3. But nonetheless, I like the Kodo here. Because if he would have had Nosshire Cleric, he would have played it, right? And I would play Wildfin Inquisitor and 2 1/1s. Yeah, I like that. Just go wide again. He just used an AoE, and his deck is officially not running AoE. So I'm not too afraid of the second AoE here.
Yes.
And if we can actually manage to attack with one of these guys into his taunt with a Spikebeak Steed next turn, it's looking really promising, right? And now he also has to deal with our 3/5 Kodo. So that's also huge trouble for him here usually.
He only has 2 cards, so...
Yeah, it's only 2 cards.
It's really good for us.
Yeah. I think we are quite likely to win here, but let's see what's happening.
Yeah, even though a tragic misplay, we were able to turn it around. Well, it was kind of in our favor, but it was misplayed.
Looks like he doesn't have anything, but let's see. what the cards are actually. I think the card to the left is very likely in a fire because he didn't play it yet. Yeah, we do that trade and we play the steed, I would say. And we have it, right?
Awesome.
Yeah. I was too engaged to actually call out the lethal. I was like watching what his card could be and how we can still lose. About the 5 typical mistakes that more advanced players make. So number 1, I have mentioned, that's like in a broader sense. It's like the more advanced players, they either play too much or too little at one time, right? They play maybe, I don't know, 50 games a day or something like that. And then, like as you've mentioned before, at some point you're gonna be slightly sad, slightly mad, and you are in that kind of autopilot mode, and you play, and you're like, okay, this one I'm supposed to win, but you're not giving every game the attention it deserves, right? Not the value you should put on each win. So you're not caring about each win that much, or you are a little bit too anxious about the games to play them. So it can go either or. Usually it's playing too much, but yeah, that's one point. But we will have a look at your stats on how that's for you, if we can actually find some patterns in your plays, if that applies for you or not. And another one is playing the wrong deck, not watching the stats of the deck and not watching the meta, which is kinda a little bit what I tried to push here with playing the slightly more aggressive Paladin list, which is a little bit more satisfactory, a little bit more a little bit more effective when the meta is more aggressive than the other one. And so what people usually do, they don't really watch their own stats. They don't really watch what opponents are coming. They're just, okay, I play against a lot of Pirate Warrior, but in fact they are playing against 8% Pirate Warrior or something like that, you know? And then you cannot really, you have to look at the numbers. And the same obviously goes for tech cards, right? People tell me, oh, it's so good to play Eater of Secrets. And then I ask them, okay, how many times are you actually playing against Burn Mage or something like that? And then they show me their data, and then it's like 8%. And then that means that in 92% of all games, you have a really trash card in your deck, right? So you have to watch out actually what is going on. So we need to talk a little bit more about stats tracking in the future.
To intersect here, I noticed what you were talking about, because after you told me I have to track, well, on your YouTube video you said you need to track your stats, and then I said, okay, well, let me start doing that, because I actually like mathematics. And then I noticed that I feel like, oh man, I always lose at Pirate Warrior, and I'm very annoyed by it. And then I noticed that actually I lost more from Priest, but I was not annoyed by the game.
Nice. Yeah, that's good. That's good when you are at that point realizing that, right? So that means you can actually start doing things about it. Because how your brain works is that it gives you remarkable moments, right? When you use terribly against some sort of Pirate Warrior, you will be like, oh, I always lose to Pirate Warrior. But there are so many things you have to realize about that. It might not even matter in the end that you're always losing against Pirate Warrior, because when you're just when just 5% of your opponents are Pirate Warriors and you win all the other games, then who cares that you lose against all the Pirate Warriors, right? So you have to watch the global picture. And I care about losing against an aggressive deck or a specific deck when that deck is really, really popular in the current meta, right? So yeah, so that's one point. Then I already mentioned the mulligan. People have some sort of mulligan rules. They keep, let's say, early game drops, but it's very hard to actually refine for the classes, for the opponent classes, and the conditional mulligans, right? Do I keep card X when I already have card Y in my hand? Do I keep card X when I already have the coin in my hand? Do I keep card X exactly against class, I don't know, warrior or something like that, right? Or do I keep card X if I already have card Y and Z in my hand, right? So there are true worlds you can open, universes where you can refine your mulligan really, really deeply, and not many people are doing that. In Paladin, you have to especially look out for Elder Peacekeeper, Stone Hill Defender, Consecration, True Silver Champion, and maybe even to a certain point Gentle Megasaur and Blessing of Kings in this sort of deck. In the less aggressive one, it's also when do I keep equality. There are some certain situations where I would keep equality. It's not really obvious. It's not really always. It's almost never, but it's not never, right? So mulligan optimization is a very hard business, and almost nobody is doing that. Next point is the overcommitting or the undercommitting. I think it's actually more popular that people undercommit, like you did in the first match when we played against the Pirate Warrior, and you would have chosen to play a 2-3 or a 3-3 instead of the 5-4. That was sort of undercommitting, right? You were ready to float some mana, and you were like, yeah, I can play that dinosaur when it's buffing, like getting too greedy basically. When it's buffing a Murloc, I can play that Gentle Megasaur. So that's a very common mistake. And then obviously you also have that overcommit situation when there's lethal next turn anyway on the board, and the opponent is a warrior and might have a really lucky brawl or something like that, or I don't know, the opponent might be playing Yorksaron and turn the board completely around, and there was no reason to play all your cards, but you still played all the cards. But I think it's much more common that people undercommit, that they are not really actually playing for tempo that much.
Yes, I think that they undercommit more than...
Oftentimes people don't realize that they can set up a 1 or 2 turn lethal by just playing a simple minion that gives them some sort of battle cry effect or some sort of, I don't know, bonus they want to get, but that bonus is not important to win that game, right? And then also there's some broad knowledge you have, for instance, against classes like Druid or Rogue. They don't have board clears. So that means you can almost never overcommit in terms of minions. So basically, against these classes, when you have an Elder Peacekeeper, it's usually the question, do you want to have a 3-3 now, or do you want to deal with a big guy later that will usually never be an issue if you just kill your opponent because he can even play that big guy, right? So you're saving Elder Peacekeeper usually for nothing against Druid and against Rogue. Just to give you an example what I mean with undercommitting. And the last point is not thinking about the next turn. Because what people usually do pretty well is find a play which looks really awesome this turn. And then they don't think about their own personal next turn, what they can do next turn. And then they also don't think about the typical counterplay. Let's say, I don't know, you fill the board with a lot of 2/2s, and the next turn you're playing against a Paladin and it is turn 4, right? And he can play just a simple Consecration to completely wreck your play, right? Sometimes it's even how you trade on the board. You're not looking what's the typical next turn play. Let's say you have a board full of Murlocs and you do perfect trades to keep the most amount of stats. But it is turn 7 and the most of your Murlocs go down to 2 health. And the opponent plays the Primordial Drake because it's turn 8 for him. And you didn't realize that, right? That is a very, very typical mistake, that you don't look at the very popular cards the opponent can play to counter you on the next turn. And also you don't look at or people don't look at their future turns. if their future turns get significantly weakened or stronger when they play card X or Y now. So they're just finding the best play for the moment, but not looking one turn ahead. And I think it's really, really important to look one turn ahead. It's not so important to look more than one turn ahead, even though that is also a high consideration, but the most value you're getting out of the first turn. Okay, so one last recommendation I have for you is watch your own games. You are running Hearthstone deck tracker, so you should watch your own games, watch your own replays, especially the losses, and especially the games that are close. And yeah, watch your own stats and use your own stats to refine your deck. And to also, you're at the point where you are actually able to learn multiple decks, right? You can learn 2 or 3 decks because you will reach rank 5. And that means you will have good opponents that will teach you how to play. So you can learn multiple decks. And when you learn multiple decks, you need to have a feeling, okay, now it's maybe time to switch for the rogue. Maybe you want to play the quest rogue more because it's better. Or now it's time for the paladin. Or now it's time for, I don't know, a druid or something like that, you know? Even if you're just choosing between 3 decks, let's say, or even if it's just 2 decks, you need to know which of the deck is better in the current meta and why.